All right, so these are our new words, new key terms on Age of Exploration. So the first one is Prince Henry the Navigator. He was a patron of exploration who financed the exploration of the African coast by Portugal. He was the son of King Henry I of Portugal, and he built a school of navigation in Portugal. So that's why I drew a compass for him. Now, what's interesting about Henry the Navigator is he never actually set sail. He never got on a boat. So he paid a lot of people to get on boats and go travel around and bring things back for him. So they would bring back like plants, or they would bring back sometimes even people to prove where they had been. And he would create maps based on their exploration experiences and the journals that they kept. But he never actually set sail. Christopher Columbus, who we've all learned about before, but just to review, is an Italian explorer who sailed for Spain. And as a little girl, I learned the rhyme, in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue, and that really helped me always remember what he did and when. He believed that he had found India when actuality he had landed in the Caribbean of the New World. He never actually set foot on North American continent, but he did go through the Caribbean, so that would be like Cuba and the Dominican and Haiti. And he did set foot on Central America and South America, but never North America. So for him, I drew 2 ships. Now, he actually had 3 ships when he went with him. He had the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. And then 1492 is what I put. Ferdinand Magellan is who we learned about today, a Portuguese explorer who set sail for Spain. He sailed around the globe and he died along the way. So remember, his goal was to find a western water route to the Indies. And by doing so, he actually proved that the earth is round. So there I drew a little deceased person and a globe with arrows going around it. Okay, Vasco de Gama is a Portuguese explorer who discovered a water route to Asia around Africa. And this helped them get to the Spice Islands and opened up trade for Europe because they didn't want to use the Silk Road because the Silk Road was being controlled by the Ottoman Empire, which was controlled by the Muslims. So there was a lot of conflict. So if they tried to use the Silk Road, either things would be overpriced or they would get killed along the way, and it just made it very difficult. So they knew they had to find a water route to get there. So he did. Conquistadors. These are Spanish conquerors who took over the land and natives in the New World in the name of glory, God, and gold. So my picture reflects that glory, God, and gold, the 3 Gs. So here's my conquistador, with his metal hat on, and he wants to be famous. That's what glory is all about, getting my name in the book. Okay, and then cross is for God, and then the gold obviously is for gold, which is what they were hoping to find. Colonialism is the practice of establishing colonies in another land to be controlled politically and economically to benefit the mother country. So the example that I have is the 13 colonies, and I kind of just drew the shape of the 13 colonies as together, and then England, the British flag. So remember that England controlled the 13 colonies even though they were far away from the mother country, so England was the mother country. Number 7, a caravel, a ship with a broad bow and high stern with 3 or 4 masts used during the 15th and 16th centuries for trade and long-distance travel. Now, if this had never been invented, trade on the ocean or exploration on the ocean would not have been possible. So the ability to have a very large ship that can carry a lot of people and can carry a lot of materials and items that they needed for trade is really what allowed this to happen. Number 8, the Encomienda System. The Encomienda System is a system of forced labor in the New World, which allowed the Spanish settlers to demand labor and taxes from the natives. So what the Spanish decided to do was they said, look, we're going to establish colonies in the New World, and in order to do that, we're going to live there. And so those settlers then used the natives to farm the land, to cut down the trees, to build things, to dig for gold. And here I have a person kind of whipping some slaves to show that, and we're going to learn more about that. All right, the Columbian Exchange. So the Columbian Exchange is actually just a widespread exchange of animals, plants, culture, human populations, disease, and ideas between America, Europe, and Africa. It's kind of like triangle trade, except this isn't a trading system necessarily. It's just bringing plants and animals from one location to another, and by doing that, it's creating new types of animals and plants to be grown and developed and to grow in other places. So it kind of spreads all that around, which is a good thing. But the disease was like the negative part of that impact. So like they brought with them a lot of diseases that wiped out a lot of the populations. Okay, mercantilism is a system of trade where the kings are trying to increase exports while decreasing imports. So they want to make money. So the colony provides the raw materials and the mother country produces and sells the goods back to the colonies. So for example, here I have cotton. So the cotton would have, or tobacco would have been grown in the colony and then sent over to England to be processed and produced, to make the material, to make the shirt, and then the shirt would have been sent back and sold to the colony. So, and which sounds really good for the mother country, but for the colony, it's not so great. So imagine that you're growing something as simple as sugar, and you can't have the sugar cane. You have to wait until it's sent over and then processed back as a product for you to buy at a much higher rate than you would be used to. It's really going to make it difficult for you to have anything. Okay, so remember that your task 1 and your video doodles are due Thursday, 9/12, and then your checkup is going to be on Tuesday, 9/17. Remember to watch this video, play it back, pause it, do whatever you need to do to study for your checkup.